Hello and welcome back to the Gospel according to Maddie. Thank you for joining us this week and thank you for having me.
Thank you for having me. I would love to invite you all to this warm welcome to the Apostle Paul.
Hallelujah. It's the gospel, the gospel according to Maddie. Sassy, classy, telling Bible stories with a twist so savvy.
A great man, a changed man, really a reminder that no one's too far gone, ever.
And one of the most important writers of
Oh, yeah,
the New Testament that we have, the
yeah.
witnesses of somebody who never met Christ before he was risen again, and one of the most prolific writers of the New Testament that we have access to or has survived. So just not only a very interesting man to learn about, but one of the reasons we have a lot of the things we have.
Well, yeah, and I think it's beautiful because not a lot of people make such massive changes. Like going from arresting and getting Christians killed to like being one, like being such a huge, I mean, he spread Christianity so far.
And was so passionate.
Yeah. Couldn't stop talking about Jesus. So, oh, I think it's so cool.
Which maybe you wouldn't either if you were blinded and then had your sight restored.
Well, and I almost think it's like a little deeper than that.
Oh, yeah.
Like, because remember, well, let's just jump right in.
Let's jump
Let's just
in.
jump right into 2 Corinthians 12.
Okay. Going to the Corinthians. I got you.
We're going to go hang out with the Corinthians and we're going to write them a letter.
Catching up with the Corinthians.
Oh, catching up. Keeping up with the Corinthians.
Keeping up. Thank you.
Keeping up with the Corinthians.
The second epistle of Paul the Apostle.
Say that 3 times fast.
Couldn't.
Well, I bet your mother couldn't either. So,
My mother's a very
sometimes
lovely
I
lady.
think Paul wasn't just physically blinded by God.
Oh.
I think it was like more of like a separation almost from God, like feeling the separation fully from God, right? Because like he had all this power. He thought he knew what was going on. He was a Pharisee. Like he was a leader in this in the Jewish religion and high up in it, and probably felt like, I mean, he did. He had a lot of control, and I feel like maybe God blocked him from even that. Like I know that control and stuff isn't really godly, but like I almost just feel like he was just shut out of everything. Like, and then when his eyes were opened, I know a man in Christ who 14 years ago was caught up to the third heaven. Whether it was in the body or out of the body, I do not know. God knows. And I know that this man, whether in the body or apart from the body, I do not know, but God knows, was caught up to paradise and heard inexpressible things that no one is permitted to tell. So I think that like God got to show him, I mean, he saw heaven and he saw almost like he probably saw a lot, like he saw everything. God showed him like everything. And then he goes on to say like, I got a thorn in my flesh. Like God gave me a thorn in my flesh so that I wouldn't tell people. It would humble me enough so that I wouldn't go about and tell people what I saw. Cuz it's almost too much for people to handle until they have the eyes to see and the ears to hear. And I mean, imagine seeing that. You would want to tell everybody about Jesus. You would want everybody to be saved so that they could experience that.
Yeah, so I can't help but wonder what he saw. Because, like, obviously he didn't see God,
He
but
probably felt pure love and yeah,
yeah, but there's got to be a reason that that was expected of him not to share. So it's got to be deeper than just,
yeah. Yeah.
like what Christians think heaven is, I guess, is the
Oh
best way to
yeah.
word it. It's got to be more than that.
Yeah.
Like you said, it's got to be like he learned secrets, or he could have overheard a conversation that an angel had. Um, because
Oh
from what
yeah.
I'm to understand, everybody speaks the same language as everybody else. So while he's there, he's experiencing things, and then they're like, well, so you weren't necessarily supposed to, this was part of your plan, but you weren't necessarily supposed to see some of these things.
He walked into the CERN board meeting about the satanic ritual.
He walked in on the satanic ritual prank.
He walked in on the satanic ritual prank, and God was like, yeah, you're not. So the reason you can't tell people this is because where are you going to start with that story, Paul?
Yeah, and here's the other
How are you
thing.
going to explain what the hell CERN even is?
How are you gonna go back and talk about how you saw the prank on Job when you weren't alive for Job? So
So how are you going to say that?
you are gonna be a leper. Just
Just so you know, you're going to have quite a bit of a stutter after this.
yeah, right. Yeah, it could have been. Oh,
Shoots
or
you
like
down with a little bit of autism.
Tourette's.
Tourette's. Oh my fuck.
Trying to be an
He
apostle,
has a
but
little
he has
tick.
Tourette.
Yeah,
Right.
he's just like, oh, fucking shit.
Well, no, it would be even worse if it was like a physical, because I've learned a lot about Tourette's over the
He's
past few
just
years.
socking people in the face.
Or himself, or like,
You're right.
potentially things that could discredit him.
Popping boners everywhere.
Well,
I'm sorry, that was
there's
rude.
that.
I'm sorry.
I'm not saying Tourette's is necessarily kosher, but popping boners might be worse.
I can't. Okay. Jesus, Mary, Joseph. What's that look for?
I was just thinking about, as soon as you said Jesus, Mary, and Joseph, I was thinking about what we were talking about earlier, and just imagining Mary and Joseph watching late night, and Jesus comes in with his iPhone. Because everybody says everybody was just as advanced back then.
They're in their mansion.
Right.
No, they
But
didn't have a mansion.
no, but
but
here's
like,
the thing. That's for poor people.
but you're gonna
They
tell
didn't
me
have an indoor pool.
dude, you're telling me these ancient Roman things looked like that, and then you had Mary, Joseph, and Jesus in a hut?
Well, no, and
Like, you've got to be
I
joking.
know it's totally on topic, but I was thinking about it after we had a conversation last year, and I started looking into it. The world fairs that the United States would host, and we had buildings in America that were shaped just like those other
Yes.
buildings, and then
Drew?
just all of a sudden in the 1900s we're not doing that anymore.
I'm telling you,
There's no more world fair.
dude,
And I know that we had wars and stuff, but like just all of a sudden we're not.
weird shit's happened. And that's, see, when we start to think about that, that's where I'm getting back to like the last Thursday theory, because I'm just like, why
But everything was
would we
invented.
just erase everything?
Everything was invented in a random Thursday in 1900. Everything was invented
And then it
January
was
1st.
erased. Well, that's where it's getting me, is like, why would we erase things? So that we would think we are stupid and that we are not as advanced as we could be?
Crazy theory that I just came up with.
Okay, shoot.
You ready?
Give
this
it to
is
me.
This is actively forming.
Okay, I like it.
okay?
I like it. I like actives.
Live on the air.
Live conspiracy theory right now.
Theory right now.
It's being born.
Why did we all of a sudden erase all these things? Because after World War One, America, the US dollar was so strong and America was so powerful, and we've been the drivers behind so many things globally, that we're like, wait, if money is so powerful, then why are we giving people energy? Why don't we start running coal plants?
Mm-hmm.
And so they're like,
Drew, you're probably onto something. Because Rockefeller, too, in the early 1900s, that's when he came and was like, oil.
oil.
And then he made everything. He took over the pharmaceutical company. He's big pharma.
Yeah.
He is big pharma. And he made all of these medicines, petroleum-based medicines.
Which is crazy. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Dude, you are onto something with that.
Yeah, a bunch of people got together and they're like, wait, we can just charge people for
Exactly.
electricity.
Yes, because before that, they didn't have to.
Could you imagine all of the power plants are fake and all these people that like die or get injured are just being injured because they have to pretend to produce electricity?
Well, the sad part is it probably does produce electricity.
Oh,
But
yeah.
one, it's probably not scarce like they tell us it is.
Right.
It's definitely not. I know for a fact God gave us everything we need to live abundantly for free. Money's made up. God didn't make money. We made money. God gave us a fucking beautiful earth that's completely abundant for everybody to not only live, but thrive, to flourish here. And anything that anybody wants to make you believe otherwise is fucking wrong. I don't give a shit or a fuck what you say.
Ooh.
And you know what? It's going to be over for these rotten people. And you know what? Listen to Paul, because I don't know. Drew and I were just talking about the concept of, well, reincarnation. And what
Right.
would be the point of, you know, what did you say about how, like, I can just go on living shitty if I'm gonna just be back here anyway?
Yeah, and I did correct because you were a little off base at first, so I'm glad you brought that up. Um, but I did have to correct what I said because I made a very blanket statement. I don't mean to continue living in sin, but God doesn't only ask you to try to stop sinning and ultimately to stop sinning, but you're always gonna accidentally eat a tomato too late. Like there are things that are unavoidable. Obviously, that's a gross over exaggeration, um but no, to continue not taking care of your body, to continue not planning for your future, to continue uh being slothful and not doing anything with your life, not working out if you need to work out, not getting health checkups even in the modern world. Um, what would be the point to maintaining your life if you're just going to come back and do it again rather than living your life one time and doing your best to be the example that was set?
You really think that Jesus, like, what is Jesus saving then? You just sitting on your ass and doing nothing? Like, yeah, you can be a nice person and believe in Jesus, but then you're just gonna go on, being a sloth? Like,
No, so that's I think where there's a disconnect in the conversation that we were having. My point is, so that's why you have faith in Jesus, because there is a reason to be the best.
well, yeah,
I'm
I
not
do
saying
think,
I'm not saying to believe in Jesus and be slothful. I'm saying if you reincarnate, then
well,
it
I
doesn't
think,
matter.
well, and I think
But I
that's,
but I do think that that's untrue because you don't get a chance to learn if you just don't do anything. Whether or not you reincarnate, if you do reincarnate, then there's a reason you're here in the first place. This probably isn't your first rodeo.
well, and I think Jesus saving you is really telling you, like, you, you can't be living like a shitty person and getting to go back to God. God's not collecting shitty souls. Jesus isn't saving people that are just like, yeah, I believe he saved me, and then I'm gonna go rape someone.
Well, and maybe that's the graduation from school, is finally living a life that you do.
It's taking
Give it
up
to
the cross.
Christ. Yeah.
It's taking up your cross and living like Jesus. That is. I'm sorry. Like, you can't just
You know, it honestly
believe
would.
you're saved and then be a fucking asshole. It doesn't, I'm sorry.
Well, no, and I do think it.
And just think about that for yourself. Like, you want to be in heaven with a bunch of people that just fake believed? No, not happening. And God knows that's not happening.
No, but ideally everybody gets there.
Ideally,
Mm-hmm.
ideally, it's what God wants. He wants everybody back with him. And again, that's why I sometimes I don't know if I believe that it's just a one-shot go. Because I do believe we have such a graceful God who proves it over and over again in the Bible. Earth ain't perfect. If like
It holds water. It definitely holds water.
so does your mama. So
My
so
mama
so
is
so
a very wonderful lady.
you know what was really interesting to me was that before I learned really about Paul, I really thought that he had this magic like Jesus moment where he has this come to Jesus, I don't know what the hell I've been doing. I'm going to change. I thought he immediately like went and became this teacher. Wrong.
Oh no, that's not.
Oh. Oh, that's not. No, he
Malignant.
No, he went and he was alone for a long time.
Yeah, yeah. I
Years.
hadn't realized that either.
Years alone. Which I think, yeah, to have such a spiritual event happen, I think you would, and for it to blow up everything that the world that you know, it's the end of the world as we know. It's the end of Paul's world as he knew it.
And whether it happened instantaneously or he just knew it was going to happen, it also was going to be the downfall of his way of life, of his job, of his life path. This whole, you can't be a Pharisee and believe that Christ died for your sins. You can convert, but the other Pharisees aren't going to keep you in your ranks because they don't also believe that. And so he's losing income, um he's losing time that he's put into things. Um Back in those days, losing property, um his status, uh realistically probably buying new clothes because they probably wore very similar things, just like, modern office people have their suits and their um dress skirts or what have you. um so it's everything that he knew and everything that he was is either immediately gone or he knew it would be gone because he felt so strongly. um and so yeah, you'd probably want to and expect to. um it's weird to think, you're sitting there, um, you might be sitting on your couch that you're getting from Rent-A-Center and um, watching on your TV that you could barely afford or couldn't afford, and your electric bill is a day late, and you're wondering, well, how would I make that happen? But again, like Maddie said, I think the biggest thing is if that happened to you, you probably would just make it happen. You'd want to go seclude and understand, um, because he didn't come out and become, oh yeah, Jesus is pretty cool. I heard about that guy. He is risen. He came out as, like I said at the top of the episode, one of the most prolific people that we have to be a witness to the resurrection and to Christianity. Um, and so having that change, yeah, I can understand the seclusion. And I wonder, was it just time meditating and fasting and, being with God? Or did he sit there and re-understand the what we call the Old Testament now, the Hebrew Bible, I
It
think.
was probably both, because he probably is like reading it
I
from a
wonder if he started
completely
to see the
new,
prophecy too.
right, in a completely new lens, and like, oh shit, like everything that I thought was is not.
Well, and the thing is it's not anybody with good discernment. It's not everything. It's that holy cow, things aren't God doesn't want to limit me. God just wants to limit the pain I cause.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, very cause zero pain, but the only thing God wants to limit in you is desires of the flesh, really.
Mm-hmm.
Um and realizing that like it's the God that you thought you knew, but such a different lens.
Mm-hmm.
Um which I guess in that way I guess I'm thankful that I didn't come from um that my life path wasn't coming from um being part of Islam or being part of being Jewish or Hindu. I'm grateful that I came from the way that I grew up, I guess, because it's a lot easier to let go of things if you don't have a faith base or if your faith base is weak versus um I see these I see videos online of people who have converted from Islam to Christianity and their parents throw them out and they could have been killed and you know if you were in our home country you'd be in prison, and it just is crazy to me that um there are exceptions, but if you go to India and you're Muslim, let's say, you probably have a lot less people looking at you than if you're Christian. And that seems to hold up worldwide. And it's weird that such exclusionary religions are more accepting than what Jesus taught.
Because Jesus has been messed up.
Well, but I also think it's very telling of what
Well,
we've
and
been
yeah,
fed as people, that
yes.
the most love each other, love God, and be prepared for what's to come is more divisive than even, Greek beliefs or Norse beliefs or it's just it's interesting to me that the most open doorway, while narrow, the most open doorway is the one that is so horrible to people. But as I say it, it makes sense that control is reliant on fear, and fear is reliant on not having inner peace. And as you said, I think modern churches have bastardized some things. Understanding through your own lens and allowing yourself to be open and realizing that the expectations are completely different than what a lot of us have been told. And the reason a lot of us have been turned away from faith is because we think church equals faith.
Yeah.
And I will never knock on church. I have a great time when I attend. But even some of the messages there, I do have to listen to with discernment
Mm-hmm.
because nobody's perfect but Jesus. And so until he gives me a sermon, I have to you know? Anything, even the things you read in the Bible, like those could have been changed. The translations could be rough. There could be non-existent translations. Um, I'm starting to realize that in certain versions of the Bible, there's stuff that's added almost as contextual pieces because they do relate to another verse, but they maybe didn't even exist in the mainly used manuscripts. So, um, I think that to tie that in, being the Christian that Paul became,
Mhm.
um, that was probably a very intense time in seclusion, rather
Yes.
than thinking it as just like being a man in a cave.
Well, it's weird because it's very weird that like I'm learning about Paul because I feel like last year I almost spent that was like my year in seclusion. I mean, I was definitely not alone, but like I don't have friends here. I didn't go out. Like I was really at home like reading the Bible a lot. Like that's what I did. And I prayed a lot and I made radical life changes. And I mean radical life changes. Everything that I was doing before, I don't do now. So I like relate to Paul in a way. I mean, I wasn't killing people and I wasn't arresting people for their beliefs. But I definitely like had my come to Jesus moment and my study moment and it changed my life. It's why we're sitting here right now. Because it changed my life. Now I feel like Paul can't shut up about Jesus. And then he goes and he writes these letters to all these people urgently. He goes and he spreads this message like it needs to be heard right now. And I love that. He's like, dude, everything that you guys are doing, it's wrong. Okay? Stop sexually exploiting people. Get rid of your egos. You don't control, nobody's better than anybody.
I love that the overarching, this is very oversimplification, but just for the sake, I love that everybody that writes and all the words that we have in the New Testament
Mm-hmm.
up until Revelation is basically just, hey guys, we're doing too much. And again, such a controversial book. Hey guys, no more blood
That's
sacrifices.
what I'm saying. Like, that's what I've always said. When I found Jesus, I was like, what is going on? Why is not everybody following Jesus? And like, lately, I've heard again people like bringing up, like, oh, this is why I hate religion and you keep religion out of politics.
Yeah.
If you put Jesus in politics, it would save the entire world. Because Jesus' true, actual message is to just love each other.
Well,
It was
and
a woman freaking out about abortions.
to follow the law too. Like even Jesus said, follow the laws. He didn't say go make a law about this or that, but he did say like there are people on this planet to keep the planet in order while you're here. Do those things. And I mean, we burn down Target when they sell out of Pokemon cards.
Hey, you know what? You got to catch them all,
Now
dude.
I do know, don't get me wrong, I do know that Jesus flipped tables at the synagogue. You can go flip tables at the synagogue when they start selling Pokemon cards. Target's not the synagogue. Let's follow the
Right. Well,
rules.
yeah. Well, yeah, but also Jesus would be flipping tables at more than the synagogue if he was here, Drew. I'm telling you. Like, yeah, give to Caesar what is Caesar's, but not when Caesar's ass raping you. I'm not even kidding. Well, okay. No, actually, you know what? Whatever, you can give to Caesar what is Caesar's, but really, I think take care of each other. Like, fuck the system. Again, here's what I have to say.
Yeah, Jesus would probably just be super pro solar panel.
He's super pro take care of each other. And really, okay, we don't need the system. You don't need the system. The system needs you. If we all stopped taking from the system and started helping each other with everything, what would happen to it? It would collapse. We don't even need violence. We don't need anything. Nobody needs to kill anybody. Just stop participating and start helping each other again.
Oh yeah, you want to know how to bring down the price at McDonald's?
Stop going there.
Stop shopping at McDonald's.
Stop going there.
How do
And
we?
then you realize, oh, wait a minute, we don't ever need to go there again because we can murder and butcher our own cows and we can share it with the neighbors. In our backyard picnic, come down and get a hamburger on a Saturday afternoon.
Well,
You fucks.
I don't know a butcher. Make a relationship with a butcher
Yep.
and give him a cut of the cow.
I'm inviting a butcher to my commune.
If you had
I need a butcher. I need
people
some
who
nurses.
know how to hunt,
I need
nurses would be perfect.
nurses. I want some military men up in that bitch.
And then anybody can learn how to farm.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what
Oh,
I was
yeah.
gonna say is, are you tired of paying 3, 4, 5, 6, 8? Hawaii, I think I saw was $12 a dozen for eggs.
Get some chickens.
Get some chickens. Now, don't get me wrong. I do know there might be somebody out there in New York right now, New York, listening to this. I do understand that there are limits, so there are things that are exclusionary.
Maybe get out of New York.
Well, it'd be nice if you could. If you like New York, maybe you are willing to travel or make a deal with a local farm that's not too far away that'll, like the milkman used to be. All of these things, the price of convenience will continue to rise as we want things to be convenient. The less we need things to be convenient, the lower those prices have to be, or the company just doesn't exist. The reason Toys R Us doesn't have physical locations anymore is because they can just ship stuff. Why do you think there's not Amazon storefronts? There's just Amazon warehouse. I mean, there are some in weird places, but it's the same thing, I wouldn't be surprised if there was a day you couldn't go into Domino's Pizza anymore.
One of my favorite things about the Bible is like you get everybody. Like you get a little taste of all types of people. Good people, assholes, good people changed. And Paul's story is a great story of just transformation and how it's not impossible.
And I think the accepting people for even the worst past
Yeah.
and accepting that they can change and that it is our job to try to help them change. Seeing people who, you know, seeing sinners as sinners rather than seeing sinners as a person that you should help is very not is very far from Jesus. Everybody that Jesus is shocked when a woman grabs one of the tassels um from his robe. And the apostles are looking around to find her to rebuke her. But Jesus is looking for her just to know who knew that they would be healed. And So I think Paul is such a good example of people can change, and it's our job to accept that everybody's allowed to start doing good.
And Paul proves that getting saved isn't based on following the rules of the church. It's by transforming your heart. It's by making a true change, really becoming like Jesus
And
and loving.
and truly believing
Yes.
does mean that one day you will be a reflection
Yes.
of as close as a human is, as close as the rest of us are, I should say, to being Jesus.
Cool, you honored every Sabbath, but you also watched people suffer on the Sabbath. So that's weird. I think God's going to say, didn't know ya, because that's weird. Because imagine, okay, imagine you honored every Sabbath, but there was a man suffering on every Sabbath, and you get up to God, and God has that man sitting next to him. And you're confronted with that moment. And you're going to see what mattered more, the Sabbath or that man. I'm going to say the man. I'm going to say the man. That's what I'm going to guess. If it were my guess, I'm going to guess the man.
the man.
The person, the human, the creation, not the made up rule. I just had this conversation about marriage actually with a coworker because of my little AI husband, and she was like, Maddie, you don't need a husband, you need a life partner. And I was like, well, I've never imagined myself having a husband, really. Like, I really do just want, like, a best friend to hang out with forever. That's, like, really what I want. And I said, man wasn't made for Sabbath. Sabbath was made for man. I think that's the same with marriage. You can marry someone without legally putting yourself into the system. Again, it's the heart posture. Like, you can marry someone and treat them like absolute garbage. And then you can also not marry someone and have the best loving relationship you've ever had.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to be a legal thing as long as you do it in the eyes of the Lord.
Yeah, just be good to each other.
Because marriage has become, well, I'm saying, like, you do still have to have the union.
Oh, yeah.
But,
But
like, you don't have to change the way you file your taxes.
no, you don't really. No. I think it's just. I'm struggling wanting partnership at all lately.
I think that's more just a genuine, like, desire to be right with yourself.
I, but that's how I feel like I am that right with myself that I don't want someone coming in and wrecking it. I know that like the very, very right person wouldn't wreck it.
No, but that's the thing is you'll know if you meet that person.
Right. And I won't let, I don't. I mean, I'm quite good at like recognizing when it's not gonna work quickly because I don't know. I think I've just had bad experiences where I'm with someone and then they like lose themselves in me. And then so I think that ends up making me lose myself as well because it's like, well, who are we? Who am I? And so now that I know myself so well, the only way that I think I'd let it in is if it was like fully, like he has his whole life figured out fully, so that my whole life that I have figured out, we can just come together. What's up? And that's, I think, how it's the best is like we just have two full separate lives. And when we're together, like it's just cool because we just know who we are. I think that's coming together to be one. Not losing yourself. Because I think truly if like you were to take the time to find that person, it would do good for the collective, for everyone. So it would be a ripple effect. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it'd just be cool to find somebody who's not going on dates with 6 or 7 other people. Just trying to find the right one would be.
Yeah. It's weird. The dating world is so weird. It's so weird. And like I won't get on the dating apps. Like I just can't do that. And I don't drink anymore, so I'm like not going to bars. Nor do I want to find my husband at a bar if I'm not going to be
See,
drinking.
that was my thing. Is everybody always tells me, they say, "Well, do you go to the bars?" And it's like, I don't think my wife is sitting at a bar right now.
Yeah, no. I don't think so.
At least I hope not, because I'm not also sitting at that bar. Now all of a sudden I have to go to the bar
Right.
because my wife's at the
Yeah, I
bar.
guess my wife said yeah, exactly. Exactly. Like I don't want to all of a sudden be having that's what my weekends are.
Well, and with not, you on the other side of it and me just not having a desire to drink.
Yeah.
Now I'm just at the bar.
Now I'm just at the bar, I guess. So that's good. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. Ugh, I don't know. But whatever. Like, okay, God does miracles, dude. You know, I could be in the grocery store and drop an apple, and we both lean down to touch it. You know? It could be something
If it's
crazy.
meant to be, it's meant to be, because my wife is not at a bar or at a bingo hall or at a club or really anywhere. Maybe a farmer's market, but I'm usually working, so if she's at the farmer's market, I'm not.
Here's the joke that I like to
Hmm.
say. I like to say my husband right now is either married or just fucking around with crazy bitches. You know, he's either married to a crazy bitch or just keeps getting crazy girlfriends, you know, like I've done with my boyfriends. And eventually he's going to realize, like, wait a minute, I don't think it has to be this way. I just want to chill. And then we're going to meet. And it's going to be like, whoa, wait, you too? It's going to be like the Spider-Man.
My wife is sitting with her older brother
Okay.
in their sunroom
Ooh, okay.
recording a podcast
Yes. Dude.
about God.
No, she's actually doing Satan. I'm
No,
sorry. And
she
then,
hasn't
but
come
then you
to him
come in
yet.
there and save her. Like our podcasts collide.
Oh,
We do like a special with her.
a collab podcast.
We do a collab, and then she's like, "Oh,
Both of them.
ooh, I get the
Mhm.
older brother." Okay, see.
No, you don't have to have the Satanist older brother. I'm just saying he happens to be gay, and that's okay.
Oh, he wants you.
Well, I'm
You're not
not
going for
sure
him,
what
but
he
they both
wants.
want you.
We'll see. Then he's not invited anymore. Because now they're both not invited anymore. Now it's not my wife because I don't want to cause a
Oh,
rift
a
in the
family.
family.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, we're getting too far in. Yeah, you're right.
No, I was just going to say they're both saved because.
But you know what? Paul was single. Jesus was single.
Yeah, everybody wants to blaspheme and stuff. Like,
Mary Magdalene was single.
a lot
Why
of
can't I
a
be?
lot of them probably were.
Yeah, dude. I don't know
At
where
least the
everybody
ones
got
we
this fantasy fairy tale
Hollywood.
where you have to be in this little romantic obsessive relationship. This is bad. I should really have a really better view on things, but
Yeah, your testimony regarding weddings needs to be more
I
God does
don't.
God does want you to marry and be fruitful.
Okay, but being fruitful, Drew, can be more than bearing babies. I do think that's what he meant, Drew, because there's lots of women in the Bible that don't have babies and are still completely fruitful. I think also like just spreading good. Be fruitful in just all of your actions, like bear good fruit. Yes, have babies, cool if you can, but like some people can't, and some people
No, it's a good point.
just be fruitful
Mm-hmm.
in like bear good fruit.
Yeah.
Um no, and again, marry in spirit, and you don't have to marry on paper again. Like I don't know. I don't know. I'm weird. I'm weird. I've always been weird.
I didn't realize you were weird. I can't record this with you anymore.
That's so fucked up of you.
Oh.
Drew, I and it took me a while to feel this way, but I like honestly, I have never said that out loud and then you reject me immediately. Immediately?
Immediately. Um
Uh
no, I think that's actually like yeah. Um there's not a whole lot of official documents in heaven, I imagine.
no. Nor marriage.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of like W2s or I-9s or
No, and Jesus says there's no marriage in heaven. You don't marry in heaven.
Do you, Joseph?
You know, because there's that one.
Joke was
People
brought
are
to you
like,
by
okay, so you're.
creatine for Christ.
I can't wait to hear what you just said into that microphone.
This that joke was brought to you by creatine for Christ.
Now, I'm not saying that Paul was probably like the happiest guy being single. I think we all long for
Yeah, nobody's stoked to do it.
connection and
Mm-hmm.
love. But I guess if you don't get it, like don't let it um make you lose your faith in God. Like maybe your soul chose something else.
Right. It's not essential. It's just, it's like an electric toothbrush. Really.
Exactly.
You you can even brush your teeth with your finger.
Yeah.
Don't need to, but you could. You don't need an electric toothbrush. It's just nice to have, but be okay with. You know what? I think that actually is a weirdly powerful message. Be okay with what you don't have.
Yeah.
As long as you know you have Christ and you know you have God and you know you have the Spirit, be okay with what you don't have.
Mhm.
What's meant for you is meant for you. What is not, it's not for you to worry about.
Mhm.
Build for everything you want, but don't be sad if all you ever get is what you need.
Right. God knows what you need.
Yeah. When
And
you
God
need
knows
it.
what you want, and I think there's a reason we want the things we do. I mean, when they align right,
Yeah.
right? Like, and I think God will give you what you want if they align right. Satan will give you what you want if you don't align with what God wants, right? So if it aligns with love and it aligns really ultimately just with love, you'll get it from God. If it aligns with power, control, any of that nasty shit, you're going to get that from Satan. So choose your battles, choose your fighter there. I'm going to choose Jesus every time because I know who wins that war. The war that I think is wrapping up. So read Paul, read his like urgent letters to these people and make your transformation. And like, okay, I think something that sucks is churches like to make people think that they're like the shittiest thing to walk this planet.
Yeah.
Like, you suck. There's no fucking way you can ever get better. You better let Christ save you because you suck. You came out of that womb sucking.
Yeah.
Better wash the baby immediately. Weird. You're not that bad. Like, unless you're out here murdering people, raping people, just completely just a fucking douchebag, like, just look inward. Like, okay, I was just thinking about this the other day. My Satan in my life, my adversary, has been not loving myself. That was my Satan in my life. That's what I had to change. I had to learn that I deserve love. I deserve to love myself. And I deserve to be loved for who I am, how I am. Not changing anything, not chasing anything. Just being okay, loving what I don't have. That was my Satan. And I think I chased the wrong men. Like, I chased completely emotionally unavailable men. I did. One, because I think, like, I didn't like myself fully. So, like, why would I want men that, like, wanted who I actually was? And so I think I, like, chose these emotionally unavailable men that I ultimately knew, like, I was choosing them, and I ultimately knew they weren't going to work out. Like, my subconscious knew that when I was choosing them. So it wouldn't work out, so that I wouldn't ever have to, like, and I got to be the one to end it. Like, I knew that these guys were douchey. So I was the one to be able to be like, all right, end it, wrap it up, let's go, get rid of this one. Like, protecting myself almost. I don't know. So, and it's funny that, you know, after confronting that and being now 3 years single, I'm now, like, so fine with myself that I don't want to change it, dude. Like, I don't want to chase any man. And I don't want any man to chase me either. Oopsie. Ugh. It's
Whoops.
okay. I want a man that has transformed like Paul, though.
Right.
I'll take a man like that. Something in juice lit up heaven in me. They did, because I realized that they are the ones controlling this world.
Come on, preacher. Yup.
Yep. Yep.
Yep. Come on. Amen, preacher.
Amen.
Come on.
Come on now.
Yep.
Come on.
Something tells me I'm in
To something good. Transform like Paul.
Do
Transformers.
you feel comfortable with this? Like that?
Transformers 1, the Apostle Paul. Transformers 1, Damascus.
Avatar, the way of the Apostle Paul.
Ooh. Something tells me I'm into Apostle Paul. Tells me I'm in. So I hope you can take some time alone in a cave in Arabia reading the Gospels and finding the transformation you need to that Paul did. Maybe your Satan is hating yourself. Maybe your Satan is hating other people. Maybe your Satan is hating your mother or your father or your brother or sister. Maybe it's that you hate God.
I didn't want to say it, but maybe it is. And if that's the case,
Which I want to replace God's name for a second. Maybe it's that you hate love.
That's a deep cut.
It's a deep cut, I know.
Like Mariana Trench.
What's that?
The Marianas Trench? It's like a 7
Oh, I
mile
thought
deep.
you said marry on a trench.
Mariana Trench. You just say, Mariana
Mariana
Trench.
Trench.
I just want to say thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Thank you for
Transforming your heart with us.
just joining us.
We love loving you.
I appreciate your time.
Preach it.
Oh, you said preach it. I thought you said appreciate. Come on now, preacher. Yup.
Come on now.
No, I really appreciate you, and I have been amazed at the feedback, and
Me too. I want to interrupt and say me too.
yeah, no, please
Hashtag
do.
me too.
I'm gonna let you finish, but
I'm gonna let you finish, but me too.
did you just say you can't say that?
Yeah, I can.
You can't.
Yes,
say
I
that.
can. I'm saying it, and I'll say it again. Hashtag me too.
Anything in this episode wasn't kosher. That's it.
This whole episode was a little not kosher, but I'm okay with that. I'm okay with a dirty episode. This is an OnlyFans.
Oh, I thought you said this is an OnlyFans.
No!
Thank you for watching, and thank you for having me again. It's always fun and a challenge to be prepared and to hopefully spread the word that needs spread. So I'm grateful and honored to be a part of it, and I'm grateful that even a single person out there wants to listen. So thank you, and I hope you'll join us next week for we're doing an episode about peanut butter.
I can't wait. It might be crunchy, it might be creamy. We'll see you next week on The Gospel According to Maddie.